33-year-old Joseph Lancia was on parole when he showed up last week at the wake of mob underboss Eddie Lato. But as part of the conditions for his early release from prison, Lancia had promised not to have any contact with the Hells Angels or other felons. This is Target 12 undercover video of former Hells Angels president Joseph Lancia at the wake of New England crime family underboss Eddie Lato in Providence last week. Lancia is the biker gang's former leader after being paroled on condition of having no contact with the Hells Angels or serving as an officer of the club. Target 12 has confirmed that days after the wake, the Rhode Island State Police took Lancia into custody and sent him back to the state prison. The Rhode Island Parole Board confirms Lancia is accused of violating the terms of his release. An associate for a law firm that has represented Lancia in the past provided Target 12 with this email that they say shows Lancia asked his parole officer if he could attend Lato's wake, and it was approved. It will be up to the parole board to determine if any contact he had at the wake or elsewhere violated the terms of his parole.
Well, the courts, based on recommendations from prosecutors and the police, to keep these career-type criminals away from each other, to ensure that they don't collaborate. And typically when you're placed on parole or probation, you're promising the court or you're promising the parole board that you'll be good and you'll stay away from people like that.
Former Rhode Island State Police Colonel and 12 News law enforcement analyst Stephen O'Donnell says it is common practice for state police investigators to monitor high-profile wakes like the one Lancia attended.
Every person involved in organized criminal activity know the state police monitor multiple different public events.
Back in 2022, Lancia was sentenced to 5 years in prison after he admitted to shooting at a rival who was driving by the Messer Street clubhouse in 2019 and later knocking out a bouncer at the Cadillac Lounge strip club. But Lancia successfully convinced the parole board he had reformed himself and he was released from the ACI in June. Lancia's attorney Lisa Hawley declined to comment. A parole violation hearing is scheduled for next month. Coming up, new at 6, we take an in-depth look at the long-standing relationship between the New England mob and the Hells Angels. With the Target 12 investigators, Tim White, 12 News.